Welcome, everybody, to episode 76 of the You Can't Comp This NBA Trading Card Podcast. We're your hosts, Adam, Amy, and Russell Gibson. And I'm just going to note, it's episode 76. I noticed you kind of went and did an episode without me the other day.
Well, it's not that I wanted to be without you, Adam, and have time alone. It was just that I really wanted to plug EJ's movement, and because we pre-recorded the other episode,
That's fair.
that was the strategy of it. And
well, it worked because it was busy down at EJ's. I was there.
So my recollection was that we made an agreement, and then you piked on me at the last minute. This is my recollection.
Piked.
I wasn't going to bring it up, Ad, but now that you did.
Speaking of piking, you talk about Kevin Durant on an episode without me.
I didn't realize that KD was so near and dear to your heart.
He's so overrated.
Well, let's start with KD, because actually that's the first thing I not that I wanted to talk about, but I actually made a mistake in that, and I didn't actually mention what card I was talking about. So the card that I was talking about, if you didn't,
I didn't listen to what card it was. I just heard you talk about Kevin Durant.
If you didn't watch the video, it was actually the orange rookie card, that tops one. So
yeah. I didn't watch the video. I listened on the train on the way to work the next day.
Yeah, good. Thanks, Ed.
But it was good. Good listen.
So can we talk about the BGS thing that I touched on last week? Because that was the thing I wanted to have a bit of back and forth with you on and sort of hear your thoughts about it.
Do you mean the April Fool's thing that wasn't really an April Fool's thing, that was undone as not an April Fool's thing?
So, I mean, you can... And if that's your take on it, I'm totally fine with that. So you think it's an April Fool's joke, do you?
Eric, the collector guru guy, whatever his name is, had some evidence to show that this was put forth. They were sowing seeds at the National. They keep fishing Beckett. They're like, we're going to do something, and then they get a bit of backlash on it and wind it back. And I think their next attempt was to do it on April Fool's Day, because then it's an easy take back. It's like, come on, guys, we're just joking around.
But did they take it back and say that it was an April Fool's joke?
No, they just renegotiated. They
just took it back. Didn't they? It was really weird. Look, I'm not even mad about it though. We're talking about Beckett again, and it gets them back into the news, and
all the wrong reasons though.
Man, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Cherry has convinced me of that. Yeah, Grayson flipping around his 1,000 Luka base cards that he didn't send out with people's breaks, that just made them better,
Yeah, this is true.
So, that's the one thing I learned from that,
It's all right. Oh, God.
I like two things. Send out people's base cards, and there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. This is true. But I don't know, Beckett. I don't know. I was all about the integrity of the brand, and I feel like they're making moves to take that away and strip that away, which is concerning for me anyway.
Yeah, and that's a very good take, actually, because their grading numbers, if you check out Ryan's numbers on gem rate, what are they, 1/10 of what PSA is doing?
Yeah.
And maybe because in the back of my mind, I do think of them as sort of the second or the third sort of ugly sister out there now, that maybe I don't really care whether it's damaging their brand to publicity. So
at the moment they've sort of earned their place at the bottom of that 4-tier statistic that Ryan puts out. I'm surprised. I've got a scary feeling that they may in fact just sort of drop off and become a miscellaneous with the low numbers they keep putting out, though.
I actually wonder if it almost goes back to how it was before, sort of the crazy time, with the exception that PSA is still king. So, SGC goes back to doing like vintage, and that's sort of their, thing. CGC is for like Pokemon and all the rest of it.
Okay.
PSA is for sort of everyone, and then what's BGS for? Thick cards and very specific cards that you want them to to be graded by Beckett, and maybe that's just how the markets are sort of like settles down, because
it's weird. I don't know, but I think they've got the "if it ain't broke, don't fix it" response from the audience, if that makes sense. If it's like, come on, pull your heads in and stop with the nonsense.
Nonsense. All right. Instagram question from David Looper82. I collected cards in the 90s and I'm loving collecting again. Found a trading card store called Blunt West and I was hooked. Bought lots of different packets last year, good inserts, and then I learnt about buying NBA trading cards on eBay. Totally blew my mind at how easy it is to find and purchase cards. I focus on single raw cards for my PC now. Love your show. Informative and entertaining. Keep up the awesome work. Alrighty, so his question is, what are some beginner tips for those planning to start selling cards on eBay? I have finally sorted my cards into a personal collection and collection I am happy to sell. David from Perth. Adam, what do you think, mate?
eBay.
Apart from ruffling your plastic bags, what do you think?
I was ruffling through all my pocket change. Look, no, I probably not one to ask me. I'm very, very cautious when it comes to eBay, and I have been very timid when it comes to sort of navigating that space myself. So I don't really have any tips. Be careful, because I don't know. I read so many horror stories about people getting shafted left, right, and center, and I don't know. I worry about eBay, so I don't know if it's something I can really advise on.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, we call it to hear it called eBay and not Feebay is refreshing.
So I think David's in that spot where he's not jaded like the rest of us had.
Well, actually, that just my little smart aleck comment probably is the bit of advice I will give. No, read the fine print. Read the fine print. Figure out how much money you're going to be up for, even if you don't sell the cards. Let alone if you do sell cards, because you may not get the returns you're expecting. So just be sure you're aware of the fee structure, and that every turn, PayPal, sell it like auction fees, etc., etc. There are fees everywhere.
So I do sell on eBay, but I'm not a massive seller on there. But these are the things that I've done to hopefully, I suppose, protect myself. I only ship with registered postage.
Yep.
Because one of the issues is that you can have people say, well, if you don't use tracking, even if the card did turn up, they can say it didn't turn up.
Yep.
And so for me, I just think that's the way to go. And then to try and sweeten the deal for my cards, there's no additional shipping fee to post multiple cards. So I suppose I try and entice people in to say, okay, so it's $8 for shipping, but then after that, it's free.
So it's a flat rate, no matter how many cards you buy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's an enticing carrot to dangle, so to speak.
I thought that was like a fair compromise, and that you have to pay for tracking, but at the same time, the other thing about the tracking too. So it costs, I think it's $4.50 now for a sticker, but that also provides you with $100 of insurance built in. So
nice.
If something does happen along the way, it gets lost or damaged, then you can actually claim that back from Australia Post.
That's good.
The process through Australia Post can be a little bit lengthy, but at the same time, it also is a relatively robust process, so you don't have to sort of worry about that. And then the other thing is probably to mention too is just make sure you pack them properly. So I would probably say what would be considered to be gold standard would be penny sleeve, top loader. I like to put it into a team bag and then cardboard around that. And then I like to use the grading sleeve bags. They're the ones I actually use the most for my packing because they can actually sort of go around a few and then put that into a padded envelope, stamps and tape it up and put your tracking sticker on. And then the other thing that I do too is I don't buy or sell for anyone that's got less than 5 eBay points. So I think that sort of, weeds out a lot of people.
The zeros of the world that are going to try and scam you. Yep.
And then I think the other thing to mention too is that you should get onto Facebook pages and start buying and selling off those because, you can get some sales off that. And then you don't have to pay the eBay fees that Adam was talking about. So at the moment, it's sitting at 16%, which is it's a reasonable percentage for you to shell out. And probably the last thing I would probably mention is that Facebook pages have cooled off a lot. And the way that Facebook algorithms work is as you list the cards, in the next couple of days, those postings have gone. So you've sort of lost your time a little bit. Whereas with eBay, once you've listed the card on there, it just keeps relisting until it sells. So in terms of your sort of time spent to then getting your cards sold, it's actually quite a good investment putting it onto eBay.
Yeah.
And I probably prefer that. It's not that I'm that time poor, but I just feel like my time is better spent putting the listings onto eBay and then getting sales through that. They just they just dribble away in the background. So that's probably my advice. But there is a huge amount of sellers on eBay and there's a huge amount of buyers. So there is a lot of traffic going on every day. And I probably would say, yes, you do need to be aware of people scamming you. Like, there's a lot of people out there, running tricks, but there's also some really, really good buyers and sellers out there who are doing some fantastic
That's
things.
true.
So I'd probably say be aware and be wary, but don't sort of go in there thinking, you're going to get your pants pulled down because, it seems like, it's like the noisy minority ad that always gets heard.
Yeah.
It's the same sort of thing, isn't it? So look, David, thank you so much for contacting us and, the beautiful feedback. It means the world to us. I think I can speak for you on that one, Ad. So,
You can. Yep. I with eBay and I suppose this would be something you've probably already done. You said your experience as a seller will sort of point you in the right direction your experience as a buyer will point you in the direction of what you want to do as a seller.
Yeah.
The customer experience is paramount with anything. And having that buyer experience helps you become a good seller. That would be my
that's fair.
Closing thought on that. Yeah.
So Shams at Shams Sharania Fund Development Fanatics is launching basketball cards under its Topps brand, beginning with the 23-24 NBA season.
Can I just tell Shams, stay in your lane, mate? Come on.
There's nothing that guy can't do, honestly. The same day, Tyson Beck gets onto Facebook and posts a screenshot of Sham's tweet, but some juicy tidbits are revealed in his comments. So, not licensed, I think, is some of the comments that have been going on there. And that was my understanding of it all too, is that Panini still holds a license until 24-25. So I think that first year is going to be an unlicensed product.
Now, it might be unlicensed. There might be some under the table agreements though.
Yeah, and really interestingly, turns out Tyson's going to be working for Topps in that space too, if I'm reading these comments correctly. And my question to Tyson was, in the first year, is the first year release going to be unlicensed? I thought Panini still holds the rights until the year after. Tyson's reply is, I cannot answer the details. I have unfortunately watched this space. So for me, that's almost a no comment, Adam. So we have not contacted Tyson. This is all the information we have from him. But I say this is free range for us to speculate. So Adam, speculate away. What do you think that means?
Hasn't Tyson already done some work in and around the Topps space?
If I'm reading this thread properly, he's working for Topps already.
Yeah. So, look, I think without he can't say anything. Even if he could say something, he can't say anything. If that makes sense. Like, I don't think he'd be allowed to drop it.
He can't. So I'm saying to you, let's speculate between you and me. So what have you got, man? Give me your put your tinfoil hat on and unleash like a theory on me.
I reckon look at the 23-24 NBA season could also correlate with the NBL season because Topps are doing NBL as well. Remember?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So they might be doing a bunch of different. They do college.
They've already done the Topps OTE.
So they might be doing stuff in and around the NBA space that isn't. Do you remember? Because there is some baseball product that isn't licensed.
Yeah, absolutely. And Upper Deck, their basketball stuff's unlicensed.
And it's very interesting having someone like Tyson on board would facilitate not using images, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So giving them some delicious designs. So
I don't know. I feel like they're just going to. I think it's just good old Fanatics testing the space. Is my theory.
So your example of what you're talking about with the unlicensed product, there's also Topps Bowman, which is an unlicensed baseball product.
Yes.
I wonder if that's what it's going to be like.
That's my gut feeling.
Yeah. And that's actually a beautiful segue into the next tweet that I've got in the list. Who didn't see this coming? No more checklist, no more odds, no more cardboard connection or Beckett Collect providing details, just pre-buying cards blind. This is what happens when one company controls everything, and only quarterly earnings are valued. So that's in reference to Bowman Baseball, which is this is a Topps product. And for me, what's been going through my head now I've been reading about this is that I think people have complained a lot about Panini, but we actually don't know what we're getting ourselves into when Fanatics comes on board. And what was really interesting about that the thread that Tyson put up, I would actually say more than I was expecting was quite negative towards Fanatics in terms of what their previous experiences have been with them. So,
yeah, it's weird because they're a distributor, right?
Look, I think my feelings are pretty well known on this podcast. I actually think Panini aren't as bad as maybe advertised. And I think what they've done for the hobby space has been amazing. I think some of the products they've made and all the different ideas they've put forward. So I actually don't think this is going to be as clear cut as everyone was maybe anticipating, that Fanatics is going to take over and everything's going to be better. I don't think that's going to be the case.
Is this going to be a rabbit hole episode?
No,
I
definitely
feel
not.
like everything segues into one another.
Well, I got the next tweet lined up. Sports Card Collectors Daily at Sports Collector. SC Daily has learned that multiple Panini America employees have left the company this week, including significant portions of the company's acquisitions and product development teams. So for me, that means that Fanatics have given up on trying to buy Panini. They're just moving their staff across, and then they're just going to use Topps as a shell to produce their products. So I think for me, this is probably a little bit of a death, knock for Panini, because the other sort of word on the street with Panini is that they were a very, very lean company, and there wasn't all these people just sitting around in offices and desks, answering emails and answering phone calls and all this type of, stuff that happens in sort of more regular companies. They were very, very lean company. So, I think losing or the word is significant here, but let's call it large portions or important portions of an acquisitions team. I think that will be quite damaging for them. So, I think that's pretty tough. Another tweet I found too is that this is from Sports Cards News. Fanatics trying to hire Panini employees should be an April Fool's joke. But the reply to that is from @SouthScanner. I think it's clear Sign Fanatics is not buying Panini. Just don't hire those former Panini people who worked in Panini's athlete relations and redemption fulfillment. So I suppose that's a little bit of a dig at, who they've signed and who they haven't signed, and then obviously, the redemptions that you could be waiting.
We're still yet to get a bad Panini redemption story through their
I found
current,
another cracker this week, and I completely forgot to bookmark it actually, but it was an absolute, maybe the best one that we've seen actually. So yeah, that backburning story does keep on going, doesn't it? So what's your thoughts in this space, Ad?
We knew things like this were going to start happening. We are in 2023 now, so we're a couple of years away from the complete handover.
I didn't think they'll start poaching that many staff so soon.
Do you think it?
Because we're still a couple of years away, right?
Well, in addition to ramping things up from the Fanatics end, Panini are winding things down. So that might just be that they're letting people go because there's no more products to make.
But isn't there still 2 more years?
Is it 25, 26 or 20 at the end of 24, 25? That's it.
Because we're currently in 22, 23, right?
Yep.
Then there's 23, 24, then 24, 25. Yeah,
the question is which employees are they? Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you need to develop? Normally, you've got a pipeline. If you're in one of these sort of high-end jobs that is responsible for like product development and things like that.
Yeah, sure.
You'd think the pipeline was at least a couple of years deep, where they've got the releases. They know there's nothing new coming. They've done their job, so there's nothing to develop for the future.
Sure.
And they're like, you know what? For the final year, just re-release what we had the previous year.
Oh yeah.
They're like, why are we going to try and revolutionize the hobby when we're not doing it anymore? And that's, I mean, it could go both ways.
Yeah.
But it might just be like there's nothing new to acquire for Panini because they're exiting the space. So yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah.
I think it's
So you're not overly surprised in that space then?
I think it's something that was just going to naturally happen. Maybe it is maybe you're right. It is a little bit soon, but yeah, it was bound to happen. And I think that now Fanatics are starting to talk about releases of products. You're going to start to see that transition period take shape. It's going to be interesting.
Because I think if I'm being truthful here, what I wanted was that Panini would keep making products either be bought out by Fanatics or work in some type of umbrella fashion or, something like that. And I suppose I'm ready to backflip on that thought already because it's a little bit silly to think that they could coexist in that space and, make both of the companies would make the amount of money that, they wanted to do.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's do your pocket change, and then you can stop playing with those damn cards.
I'm just playing with everything. I'm trying to sort. So this weekend was supposed to be my weekend for sorting my cards out, and I have two beautiful dogs that don't agree with my use of time and my time that is dedicated to sorting cards and cataloging my collection and getting sales ready and playing with my pocket change. Well, yeah, any time that they're home and
how dare they?
Yep, that's time with them instead. So, yeah.
Put them to bed early, Ad.
Yep. I was going to put him in a kennel earlier today so I could have a day to myself.
That's it. All right, come on. Show us your pocket change.
Pocket change. All right. So we'll kick it off with my my acquisitions from EJ's, and that was at the grand moving reopening. Great space, by the way. Had a fantastic time. Bumped into some familiar faces, and it was a good day. Good day to say the least. Anyway, onto some pocket change. I picked. These are all in the $20 or less box, varying prices.
So it's definitely pocket change. You're not cheating. Yeah.
There's one bit that's not pocket change, but I'm going to show it off. I've got an Anthony Edwards rated rookie. I think it was $5 on that one. I saw a James Wiseman select base, but it was like $2 or $3.
That's the court side too.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm like, it's Wiseman. He's been all right in Detroit.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. Derek White, Silver Prism, because it's Derek White.
Your boy.
It's my boy. So I've got a Silver Prism there. Actually quite nice on the centering. So interesting. Bit of a ding on it. Another Anthony Edwards, but was pocket change, $4, I think. And Jared Vanderbilt, because he's in purple and gold at the moment. So I thought I'd pick up a rookie card. I think it was $3 or $4.
Nice pickup, Ed. Yeah, that's a good pickup.
What else did we pick up? Okay, so while I was down at EJ's, this is definitely not... Actually, I bought a repack, which is probably goes under pocket change. I didn't do too well on that. I got the a jar rookie card.
Whose repack was it?
It was a EJ's one, just the $50.
$50.
$50, get a pack and a random card. And the card was a jar rookie from Donruss.
What was your pack?
I got a pack of Prism and it got nothing in it.
That's not bad for $50 though.
Prism retail was nice, yeah. Bit of fun.
I've seen worse outcomes out of repacks than that, man.
Yes, yes. Then my not pocket change.
That's okay. Flex, add flex.
So I bought a few cards at the time, but yeah. So I've been on a bit of a tear for color matches, and I picked up this very sweet Prism, red, white, and blue. Cade Cunningham rookie, gem mint 10. So I am very happy with the color match. Get that back to the camera.
What'd you pay for that ad?
The tag had $145 on it, and I didn't quite pay that.
Great.
But yeah, it was. I thought that was a steal. If Cade Cunningham does anything good next year and recovers from his injury, I envisage maybe not the same levels as the Tatum Green, but it's definitely one of those spot-on color matches that I think would seize it to be worth more than the standard variant that's unnumbered.
I'm going to steal your idea, Adam. I'm not going to lie.
I like color matches. Color matches are great. Now, I did pick up some more pocket change. Now, this was a random discovery I made last weekend, and it was I found a store around the corner from my house, like literally a 5-minute drive. So shout out to the boys at MSF. I think they specialize in doing basketball courts, but they actually have a little storefront where they have like a little man cave set up with some NBA cards. So I went for a bit of a look-see and
sweet.
a bit of a dive through the cabinets and whatnot.
Great.
So I picked up for $40. I got my hands on an Anthony Edwards rookie and a prismatic LaMelo prism,
which is also hollow too. Beautiful.
Yep. So picked up both of those for $40. Then it was a $20, 5 for $20 like box. So I just tried to find some stuff out of there. I got myself a Derek White because I'm all about Derek White. An RJ Hampton rated rookie. And Marvin Bagley blue. Is that numbered? Nah, I don't think it's numbered. It was blue. Cracked ice Davion Mitchell.
Oof.
And a select tricolor. I don't know what the colors are supposed to be. Jaden McDaniels. Yeah. So I picked up those for $20.
Great.
And then for $50, which is still pocket change, I think, my a lovely D-Fish patch auto.
And is that game worn patch and on card auto? It's a little bit tricky to see in the picture.
It is I think it's a sticker auto.
Okay.
I'm trying to
gold standard? Is that what that is?
That is a gold standard. Gold mining.
That was a nice set, wasn't it?
Yeah, I love Gold Standard. I really love Gold Standard as a set. I think they're in Chronicles. They do that. They release some of the Gold Standard stuff.
Yeah, they did. They brought it back in that. You're right, man.
But yeah. So that's been I've been sort of buying a little bit recently. Sort of got the bug. So I might have to move a few cards sooner rather than later.
That's it.
To feed my addiction. Of picking up pocket change. Yeah, that's me. That's done. I've been multiple shops. Anyone that hasn't seen it, get down to EJ Cards. That new space is very, very nice. They are going to be looking for some trade days, regular trade days.
So
we'll try and touch base and organize some stuff as well.
I was going to say, I'm actually really keen to do trade what I can. No, just do what I can to help them organize or, get it out there, spread the word, because in Melbourne, there's actually an app called Meetup.
Okay.
And there's some really well-run events, which is, board games and, bushwalking, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
There isn't one for basketball cards. And I reckon it'll be not the easiest thing, but wouldn't take a lot of effort that if you could have some type of reciprocal agreement with a bar or, a small restaurant where people could go in and eat a meal there and then, trade cards, sort of something along those lines,
So something that's not so much a card show, but for the normal people just go in and
for a couple of hours, trade some cards, eat some dinner, have some drinks, like something along those lines. And if we could do that with EJ Cards, it's a complete pipe dream. I haven't even talking to them about it, but something like that.
You can share your dreams with all of our listeners.
That's right. You know me. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening. We really, really appreciate it. We are going to come back with a second episode this week. Very shortly.
We're gonna split it up this week, so it's not just the start of your week that's going to be filled with us. It's going to be midweek as well. How good's that?
Thanks, guys, for listening. Take it easy.